change your life.
Go
to London.
Seriously?
You love London.
I could go and find my English dream. You know, estate grounds, verdant garden.
These people are full of pent-up rage and dark secrets.
I know, but look, it's a yellow house.
Too Much TV miniseries that aired on Netflix revolves around Jessica. Jessica is 30-something years old, funny as hell and completely untethered by anyone's expectations, least of all her own. When her world shatters after a brutal breakup with Zeph, she does what any self-respecting New Yorker would do: books a one-way ticket to London. On her first night in London, she stumbles into Felix in the most unromantic way possible. A desperate plea for toilet paper in a bubble. Yeah, something electric sparks between them, both. Felix, a brilliant but battle-weary musician fresh out of rehab, is guarded in all the right ways, while Jessica's blunt, heart-on-sleeve honesty barrels right through his defenses. Their whirlwind fling hustles from laugh-out moments like Jessica's hilariously awkward meet the parents' dinner to darker detours through old addictions and lingering exes. The ending, or by the time the last episodes roll around, Jessica and Felix are teetering on the edge, one bad text after the another. A night of weakness on Felix's part, and they shatter. When Astrid, Jessica's friend, dies suddenly, it is as if the world stops, and so do they. Their grief spills into the most brutally honest fight you will ever witness. Now separated, they are both forced to look inward. Jessica finds herself face to face with Wendy, Jeff's fiancée, and what should have been a tense showdown resumes into a startling moment of clarity. In that conversation, Jessica discovers her own strength. She's worth kindness and, perhaps more surprisingly, forgiveness. She realizes Felix's betrayal wasn't malice, but a symptom of his own battle wounds, just like her panicked flight to London was also hers. So, in a move that only Jessica could pull off, she tracks Felix down at a climate march, where he has glued his hand to the pavement in some dramatic act of protest. Amid the chant of eco-activists and flashing cameras, she drops to her knees beside him, pours out her heart, and admits she sees him, all of him, even the messy parts. And in a delightfully absurd twist, Felix, still stuck to the street, pulls out a ring between the honking cars and the hashtag banners. He proposes to marry her. Their wedding is nothing like a fairy tale. It's a tiny, laughter-filled ceremony with more happy tears than decor. They stand up there, little bruised, wildly hopeful, ready to face whatever too much life throws their way together. Let's highlight the key takeaways from this show. So first, as we saw, both Jessica and Felix are haunted by their past relationships and personal traumas. The show deftly explores how this emotional baggage can sabotage present happiness and the difficult work required to overcome it. We also explore the messiness of true love. The series refreshingly eschews the sanitized, picture-perfect romance often depicted on screens. The show argues that true love isn't about finding a perfect person, but about finding someone whose brand of messy is compatible with your own. Also, we learn about self-acceptance and forgiveness. Too Much is a story about learning to accept oneself, flaws and all. Both protagonists must learn to forgive themselves and each other to move forward. And of course, we do not forget the cultural clash in the show. The show finds a lot of humor and heart in the cultural differences between Jessica's American brashness and the more reserved British sensibilities she encounters. And now, you might be wondering, is this show related to a real-life story? Well, Too Much is deeply personal for its creator, Lena Dunham. Why not a direct autobiography? The show draws heavily from her own experiences. Dunham, like Jessica, moved to London and fell in love with a British musician, her now husband, Louis Felber, who also serves as a co-creator and composer on the series. The show's exploration of a transatlantic romance, the challenges of blending two lives with pre-existing baggage, and the search for belonging in a new country all have clear parallels in Dunham's own life. This personal connection infuses the series with a palpable sense of authenticity and emotional depth. All right, now let's talk about what reviewers are saying about this show. So basically, on IMDb, the rating is 6.1. And early user reviews and critical assessments point towards a favorable reception. It was generally a positive reception, basically, with particular praise for the lead performances and the show's honest and humorous take on relationships. Likewise, on Rotten Tomatoes, it holds a fresh rating of 83%. The critics' consensus reads a winning showcase for Megan Stalter. Too much approach to modern love is coolly detached, but creator Lena Dunham's sharp sense of humor remains just right. So that was my take on this show. In conclusion, I think it is a must watch for anyone who has ever felt like they were too much for someone, or for anyone who has ever navigated the treacherous, beautiful, and often absurd landscape of modern love. It's a show that will make you laugh, cringe, and maybe even shed a tear, but above all, it will make you feel seen.